Sir, welcome into First Edition. We do appreciate it. If we could, actually, we'd like to start with the news of Lindsey Graham's passing. I'm sure you have some thoughts about that, about how he worked in the political world and the lasting impact that his life leaves behind.
Yes, thank you very much. Lindsey was a great man. I served with him. I know him to be forthright, common sense, moved forward, represented South Carolina well, but he was very clearly a United States senator. He's a man that had tried to take into the content. He got involved big time in foreign affairs that helped the United States. It created, I think, a real vision when others did not have a vision about what strategically and tactically the United States needed to be looking at. And I think he laid it out. He will be missed in Washington, and certainly missed now that we are with the deadlock that we are here in Washington. He'll be missed. Good friend, and I'm sorry about his death. His service was phenomenal.
Yeah. What is one thing that stands out? Was there a moment or some piece of legislation that he pushed forward? What is it that you'll remember most about him?
Well, I knew I was a younger man. I was a first and second term member, and I would serve or be in meetings with he and his friends. John Boehner was a good friend. Bob Ehrlich. Bob Ehrlich left early on when Lindsey went on. Richard Burr. These are old names of people who served our country. Lindsey Graham was a good friend of each of those young people, and I had an opportunity as a new member to sit back and watch them not only talk about their thoughts and ideas about governance, but also about their ideas about things that needed to get done. And Lindsey is a guy that saw lineage a longer period of time, as opposed to just fixing something. Many of those people in the class of '94 felt like they could fix it and be gone in 2, 4, 6 years. Lindsey saw that the fight continues, it goes on, and it's never actually won for forever. There's no such thing as, well, that's fixed, because things in Washington can be changed.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what I know most about Lindsey, is watching him and this other group of relatively young new members who had high hopes for America. And by the way, America has become stronger and better as a result of each of those young men's service.
Yeah.
So well said. Thank you for doing so. You know, he had been a supporter of the Save America Act, which I know is something that we're watching just to see what happens there. President Trump wants that to become law. It was held up in the Senate because of four Republican senators, including Mitch McConnell. The president had passed on signing the housing bill. It did become law, though, because enough time had passed. That obviously went through the House and Senate. But what can you tell us about both the housing bill, where that goes next, and then also, will Save America be passed? Is there a chance now that you've got, you know, these vacancies in the Senate?
Well, it still requires us to do our work. It still requires the president and John Thune to be able to find the way to change the words, to do the things, either to bring the Senate back in and just make them sit down and do the work. It does become more difficult. It's more difficult because Mitch McConnell can't just resign. There is a Democrat governor, Andy Beshears, who is there, who I'm sure would not appoint a Republican to the seat, even though Andy Barr, I'm sure, is that person who will take Mitch McConnell's place. That's a November election. So you've got then the process that South Carolina has to go through to select their person who they can appoint.
Yeah.
It's a few hoops that have to be strung together and put together. And so it's just the Monday after Senator Graham passed away. And so it's going to take a couple days to figure this out. In between now and then, we do have important work. And Save America is something, whether it has to be pared down or whether we have to change a word or two, the United States overwhelmingly needs to make sure that we have people who are in this country can only vote who are citizens. And there are a number of pieces to this puzzle that is in that bill. tend to forget that the Democrats had their top bill that allowed anyone to register to vote the same day of the election, allowed 16-year-olds to vote, and it paid people to run for office. It paid for their campaign. And so that was the Democrat agenda. We tend to look at ours and want to find the warts on it.
Yeah.
Nothing compared to what the Democrats would do if they had control.
Well, he was certainly a proponent of the Save America Act, South Carolina Congressman, or Senator rather. Congressman Sessions, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on here today.
You bet.